Hey there, everybody. We'll get started in a couple of minutes here. Okay, welcome everybody. I'm going to go one more minute here, just give anybody else that's going to pop on a chance to log in. Can everybody hear me? Yay. Okay. Sometimes my kids get on my computer and stuff gets messed up. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. All right. All right, let's get started. I thought today I would show you guys a little trick about making QR codes that allow you to capture someone's cell phone number. And then after I do this, then I thought we could just open up for questions. If anybody has questions about anything their heart desires, I can try and answer. So I wanted to direct you guys over to your lead engine and your call and text capture. And actually, before I do that, I will go to all lead engine tools. Actually, that's not the case. You can, so before I got started with the QR codes, I just wanted to say that you can generate a QR code for a listing and for your KV Core website through, I believe it's in your widgets actually. It's actually in your embeds, that's where it is. There's your QR code for your website. And then you could also pick a listing from one of your listings and it will make you a QR code. And that's basically all you can do. Now, if you have the add-on, I believe it's Core Listing Machine, you can make a QR code for pretty much anything you want. That goes to any website or anything that you want to do. However, when someone scans this QR code, it will just send them to said place. And that's the end of the story. Whereas a lot of people would like to be able to do a QR code that allows them to send them to like a squeeze page or send them to somewhere that's going to track it, somewhere that might get you their phone number. So I was going to show you how to do that. In order to do that, you're not going to use our codes. You're going to go over to a QR code generator. I like Flowcode. Flowcode is free to use. You can buy, and I don't know how much the subscription is. I think it's pretty cheap. You can get your own subscription that allows you to make like really pretty QR codes, allows you to like put your logo in your QR code or things like that, which is pretty cool. And so if you want to get your own account, you can, but you don't need to pay for it to kind of do it. I'm going to show you here. So basically, usually you're going to put your QR code, your website where you want people to go into your QR code. But if you want to track a phone number, the best way to do that is to get them to text you. And so instead of saying website, you're going to put SMS. And then here is where you're going to put your smart number. So we're going to go back to Lead Engine, call in text capture, and your smart number is up there. Now, if you have a smart number and it's not yours, so I always do this as kind of a FYI. Everybody in your brokerage has the same smart number. And we're going to use a code for this. And if they text you the code, it's going to come to you. But if they just text you like, hey, how are you doing? And they're not in your system already, it's probably going to round robin to everyone that's in your brokerage. You can get your own smart number. I think it's like 20 something bucks a month to have your very own smart number. You can get it here or you can get it in the marketplace if you want to avoid that happening. So that's just a disclaimer at the beginning there. Okay, so basically we're going to take our smart number and we're going to put it right here. And then you do have to sign up, although you don't have to, create an account. So I'm just going to sign up with my Facebook, which I think I've already done before. And I'm the CEO of everything. Real estate. You're going to have to do this when you first do it. They just want to know about you or whatever. So here's your code. And then what you can do is instead of just having them text your number, you can set them up with a message. So the message will be whatever code you're going to do. So let's say that you are sending out a postcard with your listing and you want to do a QR code for that listing. You'll find the listing here. And let's say your listing is on Main Street. So maybe your code is Main Street. In KV Core, you're going to make a code over here. And you're going to say my custom code is Main Street. And you can either put the MLS ID in here, in which case it's just going to send them back a link to your MLS ID. That's a quick and easy way to do that. I like to send them a message instead. So I would send them a message saying, thanks. I can spell, I cannot type. Thanks for your interest in 123 Main Street. Here's all the pics, price, and info. And then here you can put a link to, your listing. And you could even put a hashtag in here. It could be like Main Street QR. So you know that they came in from the Main Street QR code. And again, you're going to want to put your smart number in there, which mine was the 828. Make sure that that's there. And then you're going to add it. You could even say, here's all the price, pics, and info, and put the link in. And then say, we like to go see it in person. I always like to ask a question, see if I can get a response back. And then you would add that. So now what happens is, and I can't really show it to you because I don't have my phone up here, but what happens is when you do this, you can save your changes. The code won't change. It downloaded the code, the code right here, which is right here. And you can download it to your computer. Now, if you put this code on something and they scan it, what will happen is their text message, whatever app they use, will pop open. It will pre-fill it with this Main Street code, and all they have to do is hit send. When that happens, they're going to get that message back from you saying, thanks for your interest. Here's the link. They may or may not click on it, but it doesn't matter if they click on it or not, because now they're going to come into your system as a lead, and they're going to have the Main Street QR code hashtag, so you know what they came in on, and then you're going to have their cell phone. It's the very best lead, in my opinion, because you've got a cell phone number that you know is correct. And so then, you know, you could do it that way. There's a couple other applications you can use this for. You can put these QR codes in emails. You can put them on your signature. You can do a lot of different things that way. And if you do that, just by making sure you put in this message that they're going to send, you're going to get, you know, they're going to get the right thing back, and you're going to capture their cell phone number. It looks like we have a question. Can we be sent a recording of this webinar? Reference later. Yes, ma'am. Actually, all of our webinars, Shana asked about getting a recording of this. If you, I highly recommend everybody go to our YouTube channel. Oh no, don't go to our, that's my kids' school speak. Our YouTube channel right here, we have on, if you go under playlists and you go to the Next Level Strategies right here, we post all of these in this playlist. It sometimes takes a couple of days, but you can find it there, and you can find all the past ones there too, which are really great. Does anybody have any questions about using those QR codes or how that works? Anybody? Nobody? Okay. So then I thought, while we're talking about using your text codes, the other thing I wanted to show you guys a little trick is in your, when you're sending out emails to people. So let's say you're doing a mass email for a new listing, and you're going to make a template for that. So like you go to your templates and you add a template. Let's add an email template. And we're going to go to the advanced editor. Yes. And let's say you put your image of your listing. Wow, it's been a long day. The image of your listing here, and then you put some, like a button in here to, you know, see the listing or whatever. The other thing you can do is you can put buttons in, like this button. Let's say you put the URL to your listing, but this button, instead of, you see where it says open web page up here? Instead of opening web page, this is where, again, they can send you a message. So you could say, you know, your button could be, text me to go see it. And you can say, I want to send us SMS. This is where you're going to put your, oh, whoopsies, put your message here. And you're going to put your smart number here. I forget what my smart number was without going out of here. But you're going to put your smart number there. So if they're on their phone and they want to go see this listing, they text you here, and maybe instead of what we did for the Main Street thing, we say, oh, we send back a message saying, oh, thanks for your interest. When's a good time for you? When are you available? Can I call you shortly, or something like that? So they get an immediate text back, and that you know that they want to go see this listing. The other thing you can do is you can do a button that says, call me for more info. And again, it can go, you can, instead of send them SMS, it can say make a call. And you can either put your cell phone number in here, or again, you can put your, I wouldn't put your smart number in here if you're not using a code, if you don't have your own smart number. Well, that's not true. it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So if you put your smart number in here and they call you and they're already in your system, it's going to route directly to you. So theoretically, if you're sending this out to people that's already in your system, then it's going to route to you anyway. There could be instances where they're calling from a different phone number that you have in your system, in which case, then it would round robin to everybody. So I don't know that if you don't have it's a little bit of a risk if you don't have your own smart number. If you don't have that, then you could definitely run the risk of it going to someone else. So you could put your cell phone number in here, and then they would call you directly on your cell phone. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew about these. I actually had been using KV Core for a long time before I even worked for the company, and I didn't know that these were available until probably a couple of weeks ago, which I was pretty stoked to figure out. So that's another way to go to kind of get people to call you, to take an action. I always like to put call to action buttons in my emails. That just makes it real easy for people to dial that number, to send that text message, to get in touch with you. You can even put another button in here, and you can have it go to you can leave it as a URL. You can send it to your Facebook Messenger. So you can say, chat with me. And just so you know, your Facebook Messenger link, if you don't know what it is always, it's m.me / whatever your username is for your Facebook business page. So this is somebody's that I was working with before. So when you go to it, this is one of the people I was working with earlier this week. Then you can send them a text message. You can even set things up in Facebook to do like auto responses and things for your own page as Facebook. But those are all, where did I go? Those are all great call to action buttons to have whenever you're doing this. Are these templates for websites and other things too? I'm not sure what you mean by templates. You mean the QR codes? Shayna, maybe you could let me know what you mean by that. I'm not sure. Instead of using a smart number, could we use our own cell phone number? You can always use your own cell phone number. The reason I like using the smart number is because it'll come in with a QR code and it'll funnel that lead directly into KV Core, and it'll track it that way. So, but again, you could always, when you're doing your flow code, you could do, your own phone number here. But the problem is if you put this message in here, nothing's going to get sent back to them. Whereas if you did it through KV Core and you did it through your smart number, automatically they're going to get the message back with the link to the property. And you're going to be able to track that, and it's going to come in right into KV Core for you, and it's going to come in with a hashtag that you picked, if that makes sense. You're welcome. We're doing an email template now. Are there templates for other things too? Not really. You can do it. You can do a text template. I mean, obviously you can do all sorts of templates in here. You can do a text template, but the text template is, I guess you could say in the text template, if you wanted to use that Main Street code, you could say, I have a brand new listing. If you want the information, reply with Main Street, and it could send it back to you or something like that, but not that you can put like a button in for a text message. For a website, on your website, there's no way to really put a button in for that kind of thing, unless you did like, oh, I'm going to get sticky with it. So in Canva, I don't know if everybody's ever used Canva, but you can create you can create anything in Canva with anything clickable. Like, I'll just use one of these things here. And if you put in a button, that said, you know, well, it couldn't be a texting button or a calling button. It'd have to be a URL. Well, I don't know, actually. I could try it. But you did something that said, you know, get info. And then you made it so that you're going to link it to whatever you want to link it to. Let's see. Like this listing. And now it's hyperlinked. What you could do, like, let's say you made a whole web page on this. You can, more options, embed. So if you take this embed code, I know this is getting kind of in the weeds, but since you asked, you go to your website manager, and like, let's say you made a custom page with the embed code. It's going to be right there, and this is going to be hyperlinkable, if that makes sense. So you can put buttons that way in stuff on like a custom page, and you can even do it. You can even put custom code. If you go to your website manager, and you go to your site editor, here's all your code, and you could code view if you put like something in front of it, right? Then this is going to be on my website now, on top of anything or things like that. I'm wondering in Canva, I'm just thinking about it. Yeah, it has to be a link. However, I know there's a link. You can do a call me link. It's like tell. I'd have to find it. But you can do it. It's like it's a clickable, it's, you know, HTML that you can do basically. I'd have to figure it out. I've done it before, but it's been a really long time. Anyway, I don't know if that answers everybody's questions. So RSVP. I'm not sure what you meant by RSVP. If they want to RSVP to something, yeah, you could put a button that takes them to a place like, you know, a Facebook event to RSVP to. Trying to learn how to update and add things to my website is all. Gotcha. On the website, though, they're already captured when they go on there. On the website, they're only captured when obviously they register. If they just went to your front page, they're not going to be captured until they look at a few things and ask to, someone asks them to sign up. Does that answer everybody's questions? That RSVP is when you were making a button for Canva flyer. Oh, yes. Yeah, so yeah, you could do a RSVP button on the Canva that takes you to whatever RSVP place you have, like Facebook or like a Facebook event or a Eventbrite or something like that, yeah, you could put that in there. And then, you can make a special page on your KV Core website, a custom page about your event, and they can just click there to RSVP. Absolutely. The biggest thing I'm trying to learn at present is how to make a page or section of my website where my Keeping Current Matters blog page can be visible and accessed. I'm going to say this about Keeping Current Matters. Putting Keeping Current Matters content on your website is actually not awesome for you. The reason is that because it's the same exact content that's on other people's websites, Google doesn't like that, and it actually kind of downgrades you, and it's not good for your SEO. I wouldn't do that if I were you. However, the best thing to do if you have a Keeping Current Matters is to start doing video. So if you did a video and all you did was read off, like, I mean, obviously you don't want to be like, today the interest rates are blah, 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 like that. But if you were engaging and you're like kind of reading and maybe put the script up on your screen while you're doing your video and make a video blog instead, Google has no idea that it's this exact same content. It looks much more original and it's putting your face with it. I would do that instead. So if that makes sense. If you have Keeping Current Matters blog on a different place than your KV Core site, then you can redirect there by making a custom page and make your custom page be make the category be blog. Oh no, new category, blog. And then have it be blog, and then redirect it to the whatever URL your blog is living at in Keeping Current Matters, and put that there. And when you save it, then you would go into your settings and go to your custom navigation and put, it's not here because I didn't save it, but like if whatever, oopsies, the blog would be in this list, and you'd do that and you'd save it, and then blog would be up in your navigation on your website next to like sell, buy, all that stuff. And if they clicked there, then they would just go to the blog. I hope that answered all questions. Okay. Is the blog in KV Core already set up if you add it? If you add a blog, then yes. Google KV Core is integrated with Google. It is integrated with Gmail. That's what you mean. I'm not sure. I was thinking Keeping Current Matters. Yeah, no one really has their own time to do their own blog. The problem is that if you buy it from one of those places, it's literally just, it's not super awesome for your SEO. Okay, unrelated topic. I'm trying to figure out a better way to view the listings that are sent to clients in the alerts. I know I can CC myself, but if I'm sending to 2 people already, is there a better way to do that? Clients in the alerts. I guess if you wanted it, think about that. I mean, if you want to know instantaneously when it goes out, then no, there's really not a way to do that. But if you wanted to just see what was sent, let me think about this here. Let me find somebody that's got a search alert set up. Of course, they haven't been sent one yet. This one either. I just have a lot of test things in here, so obviously, but when they send it, out. Yeah, I think like this one. You can see, you can just go into their profile and click on any of the stuff that was sent to them. These will say new on market, new on market. You can view what was sent to them that way. If that makes sense. So you can see what was sent by just going into their profile, but if you want it in real time, you would have to CC yourself on it. Yeah. The other way to do that with sending it to two people actually is if you just want to set up the exact same alert for both of those people individually instead of CCing one or the other, just set up the exact same alert. They're both going to get it and then CC yourself on one of them. That would be the other way to go. Looking at the dashboard and clicking on properties they have viewed, it wants me to register as a user. The other thing I've tried to do is view the properties in the alerts from the alert page. It appears as though Cutie4 thinks I'm a client. Anything I view shows up in the dashboard that the client has viewed. Yes, it will do that. Yeah, let me think about that. Let's be registered as a user. Yeah, I mean, it should remember you. I mean, once you register once, just register as yourself. That's what I always do. I always just sign in as myself. And then when I go from the dashboard, I just click in that way and just register as myself. That way it attributes to me and not them. If you do it from there, if you sign in as them, obviously it's going to think it's them looking at it. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys, we've got some time here. Does anybody have any other questions? Whatever your heart desires to know, or maybe I didn't. I'm happy to answer anything else. So how do I go in and view the email alerts while registered as myself? So let's try it out here. So this guy, view. So this would be the alert that they got, and you want to view this property, I guess is what you're saying. No, I have a demo account, so I'm not sure if it's gonna. Let's see what something earlier. No. I think I'm not hooked up to an MLS actually. But I think if you look at it that way, so you're saying if you do this and you go into their alert here, it signs them up as you. I'm not sure, or it signs you up as them. I'm not sure about that, to be quite honest. But if you go into your site and log in before you do anything, it should, like if you just go to your regular site and you log in as you, I don't want to go to condos. I want to go to login. No condos, just logging in. There we go. Good grief. And you just log in as you. Now you're already logged in. So anything you try and look at, I'm assuming should go to you and not them that you click on, if that makes sense. Okay. Can you explain campaigns and can we set them up for ourselves, reminders on contacts like contract to close duties for ourselves, etc.? Yes and no. So you can set up a campaign Smart campaigns. So you can add a campaign that, like, you could add a trigger of a hashtag, you know, under contract or something. Right. And then, you know, for contracts, or you could call it contract to close. Contracts to close. Remind me. And then you could say add action task. So the task is, it's just going to set a task for you. Now the problem is that there's no way to set it as a certain date. So like if you're like, I need to set up the photos to be on September 3rd. You could set it up as September 3rd here, but it's always going to be September 3rd. So when it applies to somebody else, it's going to be September 3rd. So that's kind of unhelpful. You could do a general one though. That's like, you know, usually I have to have the pictures up, pictures ordered, you know, 15 days later, you know, order pictures, you know, make sure the pics are scheduled, and save it. So, so you can do that. And so that on day 15, it reminds you to order the pictures, but you can't say on September 3rd, order the pictures. I mean, you can do that on a date-based campaign, but like I said, you'd have to make it for each person every time they went under contract, which you could do. You could go back to your campaigns and you could say, add a campaign. You wouldn't start a trigger because you're going to add it manually to the person anyway. Actually, it's going to be when a specific date occurs. So then specific date, we're going to start it on, like, let's say they went under contract today. So we're starting it today. And then you hit next. Campaign would be contract to close for Sally. Sally's new house reminders. And then you could say, oopsies, the one I just made. Where's Sally? Oh, right there. You could say on a specific date, meaning on September 3rd, order pictures. I already made that template, so it's already in there. Order pics for Sally. And save it. And then on that date, that's going to happen. I hope that makes sense. So, but it would have to, you'd have to make it for each person because the dates are always going to be different. So you can either do a campaign, you know, so many days later, so many days later, so many days later, or you can do a campaign on specific dates, but that specific date's only going to be for that person because obviously if someone goes under contract a month later, all the dates are going to change. Now you could make this same thing date-based and then just copy down the campaign and then just change the dates for each person. You could do that too. That makes sense. So general, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I hope I answered that question. Any other questions? The login is me, then it will think I'm a guest user. Well, once it won't think you're a guest user. It'll just log you in as you. You should be in your, you should put yourself in your database anyway, just so you're in there. Okay, we got about 20 minutes left. Anybody else? Otherwise, we can wrap it up a little early. Okay. Well, it was a pleasure seeing everybody. I hope the QR code thing helped. Think about all the places you can put it. I put 2 more. Go look. Oh, see, I've got question and answers and I've got chats. It's hard to track. I added lenders as contacts and they aren't there when I click on lenders. Lenders as contacts and they aren't there when I click on lenders. Not sure what you mean by that. You put your lender in your Smart CRM or you put your lender in as an actual lender. Because putting them in on your Smart CRM is not going to make them show up as your lender. And also there's, so in the lender tab in KV Core. Okay. So it depends who you're with. Are you possibly with EXP? If you're with EXP, then it's a whole, no? Okay. So you went to, remember where it is at. Gotcha. I think it's under lenders. So you went in here and you added a lender here. If you added the lender here, then they should show up here. And if that's the case, they should show up on your website. Under lenders, under finance, usually it would show up under finance and the lender would be there. Oh, so you added them as a contact. Yes, no, you would have to add them right there. So you would go to lenders. So you can either do it from here, you can go to lenders, or here, and then you would just hit add lender, and then you have to put in all their stuff. You have to give them a password because they need to be able to, then they're going to get their own KV Core kind of access. So they'll be able to see what happens with all the leads that you assign to them and all that good jazz. So I know EXP does it and some other, and I don't know, I'm not sure about Samson, but some brokerages basically require you to, you can put all the stuff in, but then you still need to get your broker to add them because they're kind of, that's the word I'm looking for. They kind of want control over that side of things. So it depends what brokerage you're with, but otherwise this is the way to do it. But yes, they have, you give them a password, you have to put in their license number, you have to put in all this stuff here. And then they should show up in this list and therefore they should show up on your website. Okay, where am I at here? How come my transactions aren't showing up on KV Core even when I change my status to close? How do I add a transaction? Well, that depends. I don't know what you mean by a transaction. You mean they're listed under your closed properties, they're in your dot loop, they're in your core back office. I'm not sure, maybe you could give me a little bit more information about what you mean by the transactions aren't showing up. I'm in my own CRM as a person, but if I log in as myself to the website, how do I get access to other users' info? Oh, you don't. So I guess what I was saying, I'm sorry, Kristen, what I was saying was that if you log in here and you're logged in, here in KV Core as yourself, when you click on something in your back end, it should, whatever you click on should open up into a new tab, logged in as you, not logged in as them, if that makes sense. Oh, right here, the transactions tab. I believe to have transactions come up here, you have to have either core back office. Your company has to have core back office, or you have to have connected your like .loop or one of those like transaction things. Like it's not, it doesn't just show up here by going from close to from client to close. This connects to other transaction software, I guess is, yeah, SkySlope, exactly. Yeah, SkySlope, .loop, core back office, those kinds of things. And I'm not 100% sure on how that happens because I never use it. It's not my thing, but yeah, that's what that's for. What is used for once you have them listed? Transactions. What is that used for once you have them listed? Transactions. This right here, again, like this, I'm not quite sure what you mean. Or you know what? Shayna. Give me a second. I'm just gonna let you talk to me here real fast because it's very hard to. Just gonna. Shayna. Okay, Shayna, I am. If you want to unmute yourself, you can explain to me what you're saying because I'm really not sure what you're saying.
Okay, so that transactions tab over there,
Yeah.
like when you have them listed, is that for like accounting purposes, or is it so that you can have all your past clients in one spot, or like, I guess if.
Oh, I think it's just so you can keep track of your transactions, pulling it in from like a SkySlope or a .loop or whatever. So you don't have to go into your other place to look at it, I think. But this is, like I said, not kind of my area of expertise, so I'm not 100% sure on that. But I do know that it like lets you talk to those other transaction softwares. That makes sense. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Those playbooks, can we create playbooks then if we can't do like campaigns for, you know, like contract to close, for example?
Playbooks are more, it's not something you cannot create your own playbook. These are things that we've made to help you use the system more efficiently. And I know that we're making more soon, but no, there is no, you can't make your own playbook.
Okay.
Right. Anybody have any other questions? Nobody? Okay, cool.
What are the
Oh,
behavior alerts for?
I'm sorry, say again?
The behavior alerts.
Uh-huh.
I noticed there were like a whole lot more than I thought they were, and I was just kind of.
I can go over those real fast. And just to answer your question, Pat, yes, I am usually only here on Wednesdays. I wasn't here last Wednesday because I was on vacation, but Wednesday is my day. Behavioral automation. So real quick, behavioral automation, these are all the things that happen. Let's close this down. When a lead does some behavior. So they revisit after 14 days, they do it 5 times in a week, 5 properties in the last day, all those things. You can turn each one on and off so you can decide which one you want to have happening. And as far as the email and text go, if they have a valid if they have a valid phone number, it will send a text, not an email. If they don't, it will revert to the email. So that's why it's real important, like if you have a bad number, to take that number out so that they'll get the email instead. The other thing you can do is, this is what it says. The email says this, but if you're like, I don't want the email to say that, you can edit the email if you want to. And if you already have an email template in here, you can pick from it, if that makes sense. So the other thing you can do, and this is kind of labor intensive, but if you wanted to, every, couple of months, you could go in and change these so that, if this happens more than once to a lead, that they're not getting the exact same message each time. You could do that. And then you can also turn on and off which statuses get these. So I always turn my contract, my close, my client off. Like, it's kind of silly to have that. I think these 3 are good to have. Sphere, it's up to you if you want to do that or not. And archived is, I think, set to off, but I always turn it on actually, because for me, if you archive somebody because they said, oh, never contact me again or whatever, and they come back after 4, they do something like 3 years later on your site, it's not a bad thing to kind of, hey there, and see what's going on. So it's up to you if you want to turn that one on, or Sphere, it's, kind of which way to go. But my recommendation is to definitely have these on, definitely have contract client closed off.
Is there a way to get a notification when someone texts you on KV Core? So, if you're just checking it like once or twice daily, they're not going to get an immediate response.
Do you have the KV Core app downloaded on your phone?
Yes.
And you have your push notifications on?
Doesn't it automatically have notifications?
Yeah, it probably should. Like, you should get the app should ping you when somebody texts you.
Yes, you know what, I do have that. But the thing is, it's like, okay, so the text will come to my phone that they texted me and what it was, but I can't reply to them on there. I have to go back to KV Core either on my computer or like, I'm not real super familiar with the app because it's like.
It's the app you want to use. So like when it pings you, you want to use the app and just go click on the app, go in and text them back right from the app right there.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. The app is the way to go to get all the immediate stuff. Okay, Kristen, can you set up a filter and save it so you can just go check this? Go check. I'm not sure what you mean. Go check what? You can set up filters for anything. Oh, if they have texted you. Yeah, you can do that too. Like if you wanted to, you could set up a filter, behavior, last has responded via text. No, I think it's only, I don't think you can do that actually for last time you texted, but not last time they texted. I don't believe. Yeah. Oh, responded by a text. Yeah. But like, yes, if they responded by a text, you could do that. But it wouldn't be, I mean, I guess you could check the list and just sort by the last response, I suppose. The other thing you can do though is actually on your dashboard, if you go to new text right here, or all your new texts that you got. So I love the dashboard for that. I like to do new texts. I also like to do email events, is one of my favorites, because then I can see who, it's gonna take a while to load. But it will tell you if someone opened an email and if they clicked on an email. And so you can just kind of scan down and see if they've opened or clicked emails, hot leads, those things. These are great options on your dashboard there. I know, lots of stuff. KV Core, I've been working with it for, oh gosh, 7 years now. Even before it was KV Core, it used to be Conversion. And it keeps growing and growing. And so there is a ton of stuff. It's a really powerful platform. I know it can seem overwhelming, but definitely, keep coming to this stuff. Yeah, the email events is not, I don't think is on the app version as easily, but it is here. what defines a hot lead. I believe a hot lead is, and I don't have anybody on here because I'm in a demo account, but a hot lead is like people who have taken certain actions, like, you know, they've looked at a bunch of properties or they've been coming back a lot or that kind of stuff, would be a hot lead. Okay, you're welcome. What are the best add-ons? Are you talking marketplace add-ons? Okay, well, my very favorite is Core Video. I adore, should you be proficient in KP Core? I mean, kind of, but Core Video, if you've ever used BombBomb before or heard of it, you get your own BombBomb account, and it's actually cheaper to buy it through us than it is to buy it straight from BombBomb. I think it's $15 a month less, but it allows you to put things into your, allows you to put moving video into your emails, and you can also put them in your text messages. So I'll give you an example. So for instance, this guy, you know, if you want to do something like this, so when somebody comes in as a lead, first thing they get is a video from you. And I know it sounds corny, and people are like, I don't want to do video, I don't like the way I look. I mean, I've had all sorts of agents, you know, all sorts of looks. It doesn't matter. Like, it's your personality. Like, you just want to develop a rapport with people before they even talk to you. So seeing your face, hearing your voice, instead of getting like this just nondescript email from you, is going to make a huge difference. And like I said, you can put those call to action buttons on here. It really ups your click rate, ups your open rate. I would highly recommend. And you can send people one-off, like, hey, Joe, it was nice to meet you today. All that good stuff. I would highly recommend it. And actually, I'm going to put this, let me see if I can find it. Just for you guys. No, that's not it. Let's just sit there. It is here. It's only till the end of the month, but if you want anything, I'll put it in the chat. Coupon code. You get 10% off your first month of anything you wanna buy in the marketplace, pretty much. Core Concierge, Google targeting, etc. That will not work for Google, by the way, sorry. But it will work for Core Concierge or almost anything else. Lead Concierge, I like it. I didn't used to like it. So basically, it used to be calls and texts. Now it's 100% text messaging. The reason we switched to 100% text messaging is because we were finding we got a much better response from texting instead of calling, and it allowed us to, for less money to you, make more text connections than phone calls, if that makes sense. And so, yeah, Core Concierge is a great thing if you have a steady stream of leads coming in, then I would do that for sure. It says Google aren't texting on Core Concierge the same as campaign. Aren't the texting on Concierge the same as campaign texts? No. So you can put in a text into your campaigns for sure. These are actual real people that are sending out text messages, and as soon as someone responds, they're starting a conversation. Like they're jumping on and talking to them immediately and trying to get a response. They're also sending them, they try for like, I think it's like 6 weeks or something. They try and get a response. And then after those 6 weeks, I think they mark them unresponsive or not qualified, and if they can get a response. So yeah, it is real time. I think it's definitely worth the money. And the stats on this, I don't have them at the tip of my fingers, but we did just do a meeting on it, is really good. Like, they get a response. They get some kind of response, I think, on like, don't quote me on it, but it was like a pretty big number, like a quarter of them or something. They got a response from these leads. Yeah. You can do it on stale leads if you want to. I think it works better on newer leads though. Okay, so we are at our time. I do have to, what is the cost? What is the cost? It depends on how many leads you're talking a month, so you can pick your package. And again, that's wow. Code, that's what I'm looking for. Code I just gave you, coupon code should work on this too. Okay. Or do they act like it's us? They don't act like it's, they say something like, hey, this is Joe with Shayna's office or something like that is what they say. They act like they're talking from you. They identify themselves as an assistant. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Okay, I got to wrap this up because I have another meeting in about 2 minutes, but this will be up on YouTube before the end of the week, I'm sure. And if anybody wants to meet with me next week, I'll be here on Wednesday. I hope everybody had a great time. I hope that you got something out of it, and we'll see you then. Thank you, guys.